Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. So,
Good.
I just wanted to catch up with you this evening to talk about a few things about this pretty exciting opportunity that we started up, and growing pretty rapidly. So, I'm really excited about it, and I just wanted to have a review on what's going on and what we can do in the future with this opportunity.
Excellent. Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was like just to give an introduction, brief introduction about ourselves and why we started this to our members. Like we have more than 500 members now, which is pretty exciting. So
Yeah,
uh,
great.
we we will I will go first, and then you can give a brief introduction to them about yourself and what you do, and so then we can talk about our future plans. How's
Yeah,
that sound?
perfect. Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. My name is Chatura Jayasinghe, and I was born and raised in Sri Lanka, and I moved to the U.S. in 2012. After moving here, I started my bachelor's degree in photography, and I I'm in my final year right now. Like I'll be graduating end of 2015, and Jason is my photography lecturer, and as a New Year resolution, I wanted to start something as a personal project, and I thought about this 52-week photo challenge as a portfolio builder, as a personal project and portfolio builder for me. And as my photography lecturer, I talked to Jason about this idea, and he was also pretty interested and excited about that, and he said, okay, let's do it together. I also want to do that. And then we thought, okay, what if we talk to our the other students, and what if we get them also involved in this? So uh, that's how we started this, and then we thought about, okay, there were people interested, and then we thought, okay, we can maybe uh, get people involved on Facebook. We can start a Facebook group, and we can get some more people involved in this, and that will provide a motivation for us to go on with this project. So that's how things started, and it's been pretty exciting. And we have more than 500 people as of today. So I'm pretty really happy about it, and that's about it. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity and what we can do with this group and the blog we started. And I would like to pass this opportunity um, to you, Jason, to talk about a little bit about yourself, your background, and the role that you might be play will be playing in the group as our advisor.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I am extremely excited about it myself too, and I'm just amazed at where the group is right now. Personally, I am a photographer, an artist, a teacher, professor. My love for photography started years and years ago, back in high school. And I learned my introduction to photography was in darkroom photography and film in 35 millimeter format. And through the years, I've had a chance to work in medium format and large format film, and just process tons of film and make those prints and things. And then several years back, the school that I was teaching made the switch from the wet darkroom lab into a digital lab, and that changed everything for me. And I had a whole new set of skills to learn, and opened, accepted it, and ran in with open arms, and made some mistakes early as I learned through what things were about. For sure, there was a huge learning curve for me, but the connection between what I knew with film and to what I was learning with digital, there was huge correlation and connection. So I grew with it and have been growing and continuing to grow um, to the point that I went out to Boston um, and graduated in 2010 from the Art Institute of Boston at Lesley University with my MFA. From that experience, I learned so much about my need to continue to grow as an artist and a photographer. And that's what led me into teaching at the college level, where I've met you now. Um, and when you approached me about this idea, I had done this in the past on a photo a day challenge. Tried it in the past years, 365 days in a row, and come up short with a
Right.
busy schedule. I just couldn't do it. I make it in a few months into it, and 60 pictures in or 90 pictures in or whatever. Next thing you know, you miss a few days, and it just doesn't feel good. So when you approached me about this, I was like, 52-week challenge is something I can do. I can do a photo a week. I'm doing more than that, but an intentional photo a week is a great, great challenge. And it's enough to keep you thinking and get your mind into your craft and into your art, into your equipment, and open your eyes up to start looking around. And so I jumped right in. Yeah, I was very excited. I think we originally started counting students and thought, if we could get a couple friends, we might
Yeah.
get 50 people on board, and we could learn some things from each other.
Yeah, that's the original plan we had. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then of course with the power of Facebook, we are now international, talking to people around the world, and 500 plus people. That's a lot of folks, and I'm just so excited for what this could come into, and I'd like to just I guess segue right into why I feel that this is so important. At least why it could be important for some people. What we've done here, uh, originally what we have is basically some accountability. We've got a community of people all saying, we're going to do this. We're going to take a photo a week for a year, and we're going to challenge ourselves within that weeks to do photographs that can push us to grow as individuals. And when we were
Yeah.
talking between 25 and 50 people, that community was pretty small. We would all have a common interest in the school, and we could go from there. And so when we put it up through Facebook, and now that it's grown, our community of people with a love for imagery and photography is just it's just enormous now, and we
Yeah,
have
that's
connected
correct. Yeah.
in the world. And so I don't think that part of what the benefit of this challenge has gone away at all. I think the benefit of doing the 52 weeks challenge personally within a community means that you are surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are really excited about photography, wanting to learn more about what their camera can do, what can they do as a photographer to create either interesting images or just make sure that they don't miss life's moments along the way. And all that stuff is beautiful and wonderful, and the community coming around is just going to be one to support and uplift each other. And so that's the first benefit I see right off the bat is getting yourself into a community of like-minded people. The
Yeah,
second part,
that's huge. Yeah.
yeah, it's huge. And the second part is more to a personal self. I mean, you're 52 weeks. You can't beat yourself up about it. And at the same time, if you don't challenge yourself, at some point along the way, you'll end up with 52 photographs, but you may not have grown very much. And so I'm hoping that each of us within this thing is going to say, what are some skills that I wish I had that I don't have, and how am I going to get to them? And will I make it a priority at some point throughout this thing to try something I've not tried and do something I haven't done? And as you do and you try and you work and you listen and you submit into the community and get feedback from the community, your personal growth is then going to take off also. And it just, by repetition and success over time, it's going to be amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm excited.
So now that we have like more than 500 people, how do you see the one can have as an advantage of having a 500 plus people as an audience when you post a picture on Facebook? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it can be pretty overwhelming, I suppose, at first. And, I want to make sure that we all understand that if we have all 500 people posting and we have 500 photos every week, brand new, uh,
That's huge.
work, it's a lot of work to shuffle through and a lot of imagery to shuffle
Yeah,
through. You shouldn't feel obligated to comment on everybody's work all the time, but you're going to find that there are people working in the genre of photography that you are drawn to, whether it's the cityscapes or the nature shots or the portraits or whatever it is, and you see things happening that you either feel really confident about to reply back and comment in on and give feedback to. Fantastic. And on the other side is you see things that you wish you had the skill to do. Get in there and ask, how are you doing this? What kind of setup what are you using? And so what I see that's so great about it, with all the media out there, you can find how-tos and this and that and this. But what we've done is create this community where there should be a sense of safety, hopefully, within here for people to just reach out to others, knowing that we're in this journey together. And I think that's a huge benefit in
yeah.
having such a large audience.
And you mentioned that people interacting with each other, like we had a lot of very interesting and very important discussions over the last few weeks. I think you didn't have enough time because with your busy schedule you didn't have enough time to provide feedback to each and every person, each and every image that had been posted. Do you
Correct.
like to talk a little bit about like ge- provide general feedback about what we have been doing, and what you
Yeah,
see
sure.
on the group? Yeah,
I'm just like super excited. I mean, really kind of blown away by some of the imagery that I'm seeing. Um, I love a great photograph, and some of these guys and women that are submitting into the page obviously have a pretty large skill set already. I mean, the editing skills that I'm seeing very, very high. Um,
definitely. Yeah,
Great, great stuff. And at the same time, I'm so excited because I see people submitting who are early on in their experience with photography, and they're putting their things out there at the same time. And people are commenting and getting the feedback in, and everything that I've seen so far has been pretty positive across the board. I'm just really geeked that I can see that there's a dedication and a desire to share and
yeah,
to receive the feedback and ask the questions. Um, so overall, I think with a group of people this large, covering continents divided by oceans. I mean, when we start to talk about logistics of what we've got going on here, I'm super.
yeah. We have people from all over the world now, like from Sri Lanka, from Singapore, from Russia, from Japan, from United Kingdom. Like that's overwhelming to me.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean, it is fantastic, and that's why the landscapes that we're going to see, and the cityscapes we're going to see, and the wildlife we're going to see, the people on the streets that we're going to see. It is going to be so diverse and so amazing to see the different imagery come up. Um, it's going to be fantastic, and those of us here in the U.S. as we are taking our shots, um, make sure that you're not feeling um, that your pictures aren't exotic enough because they're not coming from Sri Lanka. And those
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka don't feel like just because you're shooting in a tiny little area or whatever is coming up wherever your town is, and you're not in the big cityscapes. Don't feel like you can't share just because your situation is different from others. That is the absolute glory of what we have here. Is that
Yeah,
we
that's correct.
every
Yeah.
size city and every size nation and every size that we are just so diverse. The imagery that's going to come through is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is pretty huge for everyone. And now, Jason, I would like to talk about talk a little bit about uh, now that we have grown this group and the blog up to this level, and I would like to talk to you about what we're gonna go from here, and some future plans. And when I thought about this, like I was thinking about a couple of ideas, like getting some guests uh, writers like pro photographers and photography educators to write on our blog as guest writers, so that like we can provide more educational content to our readers. And do you have anything to add into this? Like, do you have any other ideas?
Well, I think that's going to happen. I mean, we've been reaching out, and there are people interested and willing to share knowledge and be a part of this because there's an electricity coming from this that is you know, undeniable, and so people are willing to write, and we're going to see some exciting thoughts come out through the blog, and lots of suggestions and resource material coming through there, and so people should definitely, pay close attention and visit that blog through the weeks. And some stuff will come in very entry level information. Some stuff will be much more advanced, and we'll make
Yep.
sure that it's diverse so we hit everybody. We get a little bit for everybody somewhere along the way. Um, yeah, as far as that goes, what was I going to say? I plan to share myself, some thoughts along the way and some suggestions and hopefully some helpful tips for different.
Yeah, and I was regarding the future plans. I was thinking about another idea I had was like um, similar to what we are doing here. Like we are having this discussion. Maybe we can have like a video critique sessions for images sometime later. Like whenever we get time, we can share some images, bring up on the screen, and we can give a video critique so that we can provide like some extensive uh, critique on images. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is something that would benefit the community hugely. And I think maybe even at the end of this call, we should go ahead and bring up the first week and take a look at them and just give some
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
general quick feedback from those, and running right into that, along, the week challenges right now, we're just looking at likes, who's getting the most likes for this and that. But I think at some point along the way, we're actually going to have some contests, and
Yeah, that's a great
not
idea. Yeah.
not just popularity necessarily, or as the week opens, the people who get their pictures up more quickly and are more proactive in sharing their work are going to end up with a lot of likes versus others who share later in the week. And there's no
Yeah.
problem with that. That's just the logistics of the framework that we're in. But at some point here, I think what we're going to do is create an actual contest, a themed contest, whatever it is, and people who want to join into that contest, then we will elicit some help from some judges, possibly myself to be a judge, maybe yourself as one of the initiating founders of this thing as a judge. We can look outside to, like you said, some other professionals, other teachers,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
in the things that, hey, how would you rate these guys? And so we can get some feedback, and then from that group, have some prizes and bring those up and really give them more detail. Look, here's our top 5. This was a challenge, and this is what these guys did, and why we came in with what we did.
Yeah,
And
that'll be great news for our members if we can do that.
yeah, I think that would be a natural progression uh, from our weekly challenges, and the top 5 like getters. Looking at those real quick, but bringing in our contests, bringing in some prizes for folks who are working really hard to get these awesome shots that we can share our thoughts with. I think that's just going to be a natural progression, and
Right.
something that we can hope for before the year's out is to have that in place and really go from there. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, and one other idea I just came into my mind was like, how about like we if there are people who has online portfolios or something, they can send us the link to their portfolio, and we can try to critique or provide feedback on their photography portfolio. How about that?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I think it'd be great. Um, all that stuff would be fantastic. I think we should do that. Those people, especially maybe in the younger, not going to say younger in age, but in their photography career, especially those that need that growth. They need the feedback. What am I doing here? What can I do? And those that are at the higher end, if they really want to show their stuff and get some positive feedback and even some criticism to how can I take it to the next level? I mean, I've already got this huge skill set. What can I do? And we can really reach out for those people as well. I got to just put a caveat out there. With 500 people, you can't, with 365 days, 500 people, you can do the math. We could be getting close to 2 years if we were to do one a day, if everybody submitted. So let's just put it out there that these will have to be selective portfolios. When we have time, grab some when we feel like there's something where everybody's going to really benefit from what we have to say maybe about these, and put it out there. Or maybe it wouldn't be the one that we could do a chat with, but we could provide maybe an email back, shoot something back real quick on what we see. There's got to be a way to do it so that we include people and people understand that we do value them as photographers and their work, and we want to help people along.
Sure. Actually, those are the things I was actually planning to discuss with you today. And do you have anything to add into this? If not, we can go into the idea that you suggested, like to look at the images and give some feedback on the favorite images of week one.
Yeah, I think this is a great time to do that. Why don't we move into that?
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here so that I can bring up these images on the screen so that you can. I will present the images to you so that I have already provided some written feedback to these images. So I would like you to take your time just to provide some feedback to these people. How about that? That sounds.
That sounds great.
Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I do. I see this.
Okay, this is this is an image from a person called MonAmour Alising, and this is the image that we got most likes this week. So if you want to talk about this image first.
Yeah, this it's a pretty breathtaking image visually. The color, saturation, and just the whole image itself is very powerful. Visually, it's fantastic. The the layout of the composition I found to be really nice and strong. Also, it's essentially a mirror image because you've got this glassy reflection going on. So it's almost symmetrical, but not left to right, top to bottom. Here we have it. The horizon line kind of falling right through the middle. It's got this huge dynamic range. It gives this feeling of high dynamic range image. You've got the sky.
Yeah, when I was providing feedback, I remember Manavar was mentioning that he used an ND filter to capture this image.
Yeah, that was something really interesting to me about it. The time lapse on it, you can see the clouds moving in the sky, which it shows me that there is this lapse of time in the photograph, and yet the sky doesn't have that night sky purple feel that you get oftentimes.
Yeah.
It has more of a day blue. And
yeah, which is pretty nice, I think.
Yeah, it really works for the image because that blue then is repeated into the highlights into the side of the castle rocks. And so you've got this limited palette of these neutral grays of the brick, and then the projected blue and pink, which the same blue is extended out into the sky and then in turn into the water on the bottom. And the color palette, because it's limited, it is really powerful. So that struck me about this image also.
Okay. I think you want me to go to the next image now?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay. Okay, this is an image from a person called Nageswaran Dilipan. Um, I think it's another pretty nice image too.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I love the depth of field on this. Obviously, a longer lens used to grab this one, and just a fantastic shot. You know, that bird didn't sit up nice and pretty to stop for him to get his focus locked in and everything. So it's one of those great panning shots with a long lens, beautiful depth of field. From what I can tell on my screen, it looks like this is just really sharp. Um, Very nice exposure. You know, the sun coming from the top. We've got the shadows underneath, which could have closed up and gotten real dark, um, but they're opened up enough. We've got a lot of detail in the bottom of the wing. You see the bird's face. These things are all fantastic, and again, it's really really nice.
Yeah, I also thought that this is not a very easy image to make, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and not at all. No, this is one that you're really hoping to get when you see that shot and take a few, and maybe you've got your shutter running a few shots a second, you know, hoping to get the one where the bird's looking the right way, and you've got everything lined up, and you know, I think it turned out really nicely. Very nice.
Yeah, and one suggestion I had for this person was like maybe try to use rule of third to um, frame the bird so that like you can get a nice crop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Generally, the basic rule would say that we've got the action moving from left to right.
Yeah,
And visually, that puts our mind moving across the screen from the left to the right. And most of what we need to see is the bird and to the right of the bird. And so what you would generally want to do is leave more space visually to the right of the bird than to the left of the bird. And the bird could be mid-frame top to bottom, but not mid-frame left to right for a stronger composition. You put that bird into the left third line, and you know, that works out better. In this case, the horizon line is actually right through the center also. And
yeah,
so you've got the bird centered and the horizon centered. Maybe you can imagine, and on this, again, there's no second takes on these with the bird flying. I totally understand it. I'm just going to mention it just because. You have this clean sky backdrop above the bird,
yep,
and then there's a texture of the water, and it looks like some kind of a reef or a pier or something out there in the water as well. And the bird itself is in that lower third, or lower half in this case rather, and the horizon line is cutting through the bird. It would have been pretty powerful visually to drop down a little bit so that that bird is raised up into that clean area above the water and then placed to the left of the frame so that the horizon was in the lower third and the bird was in the upper third and the whole thing was set to the left third. I could see that composition working really well also. Again, that's a lot of stuff to handle in the moments that you're taking the shot. You're probably tracking the shot. The autofocus is helping lock you in on the thing, which is located in the center of your lens. And so doing all that stuff in a shot like this can be very difficult. But it's something to think about uh,
yep.
when you're there.
All right, that's pretty valuable feedback for this person, Jason. All right, let me move to the next image here. This image is taken by a person called Sujit Tushara. I think it is also very interesting image to me.
Absolutely. And Sujit, this one, I saw this one when it came up, and it really struck me with the value in the photograph, the way that you edited that one. I love the desaturated tones that are in there. There's just a hint of some warm browns um, and some cool blues. Again, the depth of field with the lens choice here, the aperture choice, and then still to be able to lock in on the eyes and the texture of this man's face. And obviously he's been through something here. There's just so much character and a story to be learned about
Yeah, I
this.
love the story that being said with this image.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, it's a tight crop, it's a square crop, which is something that we're all becoming so used to being comfortable with. And Um, yeah, I was really drawn to it when I saw it. So I like everything that he's done here in this composition, the lighting, with that edge, that side light rather, it's kind of split lighting um, with this, the broad open look to it, and
Yeah.
there's something catching in his eye on the back. There's a reflection in there, so it didn't fall completely in the shadow. And
Yep.
the cheek on the back side is opened up a little bit also, so you see the detail and
Yeah. Yeah.
all that stuff is really powerful.
Really nice. Yeah. I think the harsh light even worked nicely with the person's character.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's bringing out that texture as it comes across his face. And the
Yeah.
soft light, if the light was soft, it would have just kind of filled in those gaps, and we might have lost some of that. So
Mm-hmm.
this worked out really well.
Yeah, that's great. All right, let me move to the next image here quickly. Okay, I think this is pretty nicely done image because it's not always easy to keep a cat like this to pose for you for a picture, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a really nice lighting set that we've got. This is split lighting, and it can be really tough to do. What I'm loving about this one is the way that just enough light was able to get past the cat's brow there, the bridge of the nose, to light the cheek on the opposite eye. And then there's a catch light still in that shadow eye, and we're getting some of the color on the far side. Um, of the iris there, and you can see there's details in those shadows. Is I guess the main thing. The cat doesn't get lost into the dark, but we get the form of the cat, we get the soft fur of the cat, and it's not blown out and
Yep.
not too dark. These are the things I'm sure that people are drawn to really want to click that like button.
Yeah, that's correct. And this image was taken by a person called Isabel Iverson, if I pronounce her name
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, that was it. Isabel Iverson.
I think so. Yeah. Thank you for helping me
Sure,
helping me with
sure.
that. All right. Let me move to the next imagination here. This is I was really drawn to this image. This was taken by a person called Robinlechita.
Hmm. Yeah, I like this one a lot as well. The warmth of it, um, the refraction of light inside of the glass, the water. You've seen the city, inside, the in the background all blurred with that beautiful bouquet there, and then nice and sharp in the water reflected, or wine if it might be, or champagne or whatever we've got going on there. With the lines repeating, we've got the vertical lines, horizontal lines. We've
Yeah,
got
it's a great use of leading lines, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and just a lot of repetition and rhythm in this. If you get in, this is uh, photo design wise, this is a really nice image.
Yeah, that's correct. All right, let me move to the next and final image of this week. This is taken by a person called Mike Gauthier, and I think that's a pretty nice sunset.
Yeah, beautiful. Liking so much the way that he dropped the horizon into the bottom third this time on this particular image, and you know, it just opens up. Sunsets, you see them and you see them, and it's just this. They're eye candy. You just love to look at them. You're amazed at how the clouds decide to show up for the show in the evening, and then the sun does its part, and the next thing you know, you're just overwhelmed by the beauty of the sky and the color and everything that's going on. And this, you've got the texture in the clouds,
Yep,
the soft reflection in the water. Um, yeah, it's a great sunset.
it is.
Nice.
And one suggestion I had for this person was like getting the horizon line straightened up.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. It's in the bottom third, but it does have a little tilt to it, which is unnatural, and it's something that people will notice looking into it. And so, yeah, using the straighten tool, rotate a little bit. You're going to lose, you're going to crop it a little. If this happens to be full frame now, you're just going to lose tiny bits in the corners, and it won't take away from the image. It'll add to it actually.
Yeah. All right, that's about it for images for this week, Jason. I think you provided some valuable feedback for these people, which is pretty huge for them. Uh, and I think that's about it, and that's all I had to discuss with you tonight. And do you have anything else?
I just want to reiterate how excited I am for the group here and encouraged I am by the comments and the discussions that have been going on and people's willingness to share and put themselves out there with their work and receive the help back. I'd really encourage people to ask the questions. If you see somebody doing something and you want to know how, ask them. And if people are giving feedback to you and you're not sure how to take it, I'm hoping that we can just keep this atmosphere of this is a place to grow and
Yeah,
to promote growth and support. Our critiques are only the only purpose for a critique is to help somebody get to the next level of understanding of what to do and how to get better. Um,
definitely.
and so we're all in this thing together, and let's just keep that atmosphere running because it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I'm working my best to get this thing rolling.
Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, I'm really looking forward to future opportunities and the growth of this group and what we can do with the blog. And let's see. I mean, that's about it. And do you want to say bye to our community
Yeah,
here?
let's wrap it up and say until next time, and hopefully sooner than later, we'll sit down again and look at some work and share some things. But until then, keep shooting, um, shutter fearing, keep it, battle them off, and share your best one a week,
Yep.
and let's go together.
All right. All
All right,
right, Jason.
thanks.
Thank you so much for your time this evening, and you have a great night then.
All right, you too. Take care
All
now.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.